It's a daily reminder of the dangers that still exist in our workplace. But it's also a reminder of the great work, of the progress that we have made, and the way that we've been able to eliminate some of the dangers in the province of Ontario that often led to very tragic events in the past. So it's that type of work that's being done by the OGCA, the IHSA, the My Safe Work Initiative that is really making a difference. These organizations have become the pillars. They've become the reliable stewards of health and safety in the province of Ontario, and the people of Ontario owe a great debt to these people and these organizations. And really, the province of Ontario owes a debt to everybody that's taken some time out of their workday to attend here today, because quite frankly, you've made this province, where I live, where I'm a citizen, where you're a citizen, you've made it one of the safest places in the entire planet to work. That's no small feat. A lot of work going on around the province, a lot of work going on around the world. What you've done is you've put this province, and often we don't brag enough as Canadians, and surely not as Ontarians either, we don't brag about our accomplishments. We should be especially proud of this. When somebody you love goes to work, leaves for work, gets in the car, gets on the bus, gets on the subway, ends up at their place of work, you've got a level of confidence that they're going to come home at the end of the day safe and sound that often isn't enjoyed in other jurisdictions. It's something that often we take for granted, this progress, and I don't think we should, because when you look at the stats, you can see that we're truly making a difference. Since 2003, for example, workplace injuries in Ontario are down by over 50%. We've chopped them in half. In a 15-year period, you've cut the amount of incidents that we have on a daily basis in half. That is true progress. You don't see that anywhere else. You don't see that sort of progress in a lot of other places. But it really is a testament to the impact of hosting events like this. It's a testament to the commitment of the employers in the province of Ontario. Those smart ones that understand the business case to health and safety is so self-evident it jumps off the page the first time you read it. It's a testament to the workers that understand that they've got responsibilities. They've got rights, but they also have responsibilities. They have a role to play. The safety organizations, organized labor groups in the province of Ontario that have fought for these standards over the years that we enjoy today and we just view as being normal. They weren't always normal. People had to fight to get this. People had to fight to get the standards that we have in place today. So we owe an awful lot to an awful lot of people, and I think part of that debt is part of repaying that debt is doing the best we can, and that starts right in this room, starts right here, and it starts right now. Safe workplaces have become a right for citizens in the province of Ontario. Maintaining those safe workplaces is really a responsibility of everyone that's involved in that workplace. I know that you understand that. I know that that's why you've come here today. But I know that you will also agree with me that sometimes that message gets lost. Sometimes it gets lost in translation by what we say to each other in this room, by the time that it gets to the shop floor, by the time it gets to the offices in this province. Sometimes it's being diluted, and sometimes it needs to be reinforced on a daily basis. So yes, now workplaces are safer than ever before, but you're in the construction industry. You're in a very unique industry. You know the hazards associated with your industry, just the very nature of the work that you do on a daily basis. And we continue to see some of the highest incidents of injuries and the highest injuries of death, specifically to the industry that you're in. But I know we're working together to change that. We're working together to make prevention in this province a priority. It's no sense, I know that Tom is here from the WSIB and will be speaking later. It's nice to treat people well after they've been injured. But surely to God, the best thing is to make sure they don't get injured in the first place.
Just want to remind everybody of the data. I think it's important that we keep the data in mind that depending on the year, construction fatalities continue to represent anywhere between 25 to 30% of all fatalities. And that's when we consider that construction makes up 7% of employment, really that 25 to 30% magnifies the kind of capacity and solutions and work that we need to continue to do. And I always remind myself that while you're all champions, in some ways if you're here, you get it, you're the converted. There's a big workplace outside of this building out there right across the province that we need to get to, and we need to work together. And that's why I think today the conversation around accreditation will be an important way of expanding that work. So one of the ways of expanding is through the introduction of accreditation. And I just wanted to talk to you a bit about the strategic value of accreditation at the second level. So a lot of your conversation, what it means at a company level, but it also has an impact at the systems level as well. You all know that accreditation, the purpose of accreditation and employer recognition is to recognize Ontario employers who improve injury prevention. And that includes, and the word improve, quite frankly, I like to say it's not improving or decreasing injuries. It's quite frankly, I think everybody will agree, is eliminating injuries and fatalities in the workplace. And in order to be recognized, you have to go beyond just minimum compliance. To be accredited, you've raised yourself to the top. And that's really, I think that we all agree, that's the purpose of accreditation. But it doesn't, it's a bunch of other things. It's also about recognizing a good internal responsibility system, and one that's about strong health and safety programs and practices. Some of you know that I had been appointed to head up the review of the mining sector. And one of the things that when we were going through the review, we were doing the consultation, meeting with different stakeholders, one of the things that we were looking for was a good internal responsibility system. A joint health and safety committee that is about ensuring that it's got its paperwork in place is one thing. But a CEO who's asked, and this is something that we identified during the mining review, that's asked his joint health and safety committee to be involved in the commission of new pieces of equipment, doing health and safety impact assessments, or change or production processes are ones that have elevated health and safety beyond a paper assessment exercise. That's what accreditation is all about. It's really having the CEO push it down into the organization, working with the workers, with the unions if it's appropriate, or in a non-union environment with the workforce, to really build it into everything you do on a day-to-day basis.
Currently, we have a large number of small businesses who are challenging COR. And small business have a challenge in all parts of business. And we need to help them. We need to do more, and we're working towards that. So I'm happy to announce today, and Andrew has helped us develop this, is we've worked on a pre-audit COR. So it's pre-COR. And what companies will do, and what we're going to do over the next couple of months, is create a seminar, a short seminar, 1 to 2 hours, where companies will come in and we'll educate them on how to use the tool and provide them with resources to be successful in challenging it. And at least at that point, it starts off with compliance. It focuses on what do they need to do to become compliant. And for the MOL friends in the room here, the nice thing about COR is everybody who's COR, successfully challenged COR at the time of their audit, they are compliant. You have to be 100% compliant to be successful in COR. So what we're going to help these small businesses do is to understand where they are. Like, at what point are they? Where are they? And Andrew's done a good job of also creating the supplementary side. So once they've identified that they meet the pre-COR, then they can start planning and working on, like a business plan, on what they need to do to work towards achieving the full COR. And COR is not about ticking boxes. COR is not about becoming just knowledgeable on the Occupational Health and Safety Act. As you heard this morning, COR is about change in attitude, perceptions, and behaviors. Practices change in companies who are COR certified, and we want to help small business get there, and we will.
The reason we're there is not just because of the work we've been doing, but quite frankly, it's because of the work that all of you have been doing. And not just employers, but workers and labor across the province who have focused on health and safety. You heard the minister talk about the fact that we're the safest jurisdiction in the country when it comes to health and safety. Lost time injuries in Ontario are the lowest. And in addition to that focus on health and safety, you together with the workers that you employ and the labor partners have also improved our return to work outcomes for workers across the province. So if a worker is unfortunate enough to face an injury or illness, today 92% of workers in the province get back to work within 1 year without a wage loss, and that's a huge accomplishment.
And, you know, this is great to support Rob and the League of Champions and what we do there, and the OGCA, the Safety Committee, and you know, and take a proactive stance, because that's what you have to do. I mean, I took on, I sort of have the perfect storm this year and last year, is because I'm also chairman of the Toronto Construction Association. And my mandate is safety on that as well. And what I'm trying to do is bring about awareness and awareness to safety. And you guys in this room are leaders. And what I need you to do now is take the next step in leadership is to join the League of Champions. It's to participate in events. It's not just this event, but it's to bring it back to your staff and push it out. And then those around you, because as Jason said, safety is not proprietary. It's something we want to do as an industry is raise the bar.
I need your help. I need you to see safety and leadership tied together. And I need you to see that leadership and safety, when they're tied together at every level of the organization, they can make a cultural shift take place. A cultural shift that will impact safety performance, productivity, and profitability, all in the same sentence. Together, we will make Ontario a much better place to live and to work for all of our families.